Hello everyone, my name is Anjana. I am a special educator and a remedial instructor. Today's video is a special request by some of the parents on my videos. They had wanted me to make a video on ADHD and how to differentiate between a child diagnosed with ADHD and a high energy child. Now, we all know that children are full of energy. That is one way they have to learn, to explore the environment, and to just have absolute fun. There is hardly any child whom we will see who would want to sit in one place and who would just not do any naughty stuff. They are all running around everywhere. And I guess that's what makes them children. However, when is it that the parents should start getting concerned? So first let's understand that what is a high energy child. Now a child with high energy will be energetic in familiar environments, either at home or at school. And their energy comes in waves. Okay? The biggest thing or the primary difference between a child with ADHD and a child with high energy is that when we ask the child with high energy to stop, to sit in a place and to finish the task, the child will be on need, able to focus, understand, follow the instruction and finish the task given. Moreover, these children with high energy tend to get tired. Now when we come to a child with ADHD. Now a child with ADHD has tremendous amount of energy and they do not know how to control or how to regulate that energy. So what happens is that they find it very difficult to sit in a place to focus on demand and to finish the given task. So what they tend to do is, you will see that children who are diagnosed or children before the diagnosis of ADHD, they show these signs. So the foremost or the most common sign that we see is that there is a lot of fidgeting. So there is a constant movement. You will see that they'll keep fidgeting, they'll have something in their hands, they'll keep doing something with the hand. The class is going on and they will not listen, they will not bother. They will either take something from the neighbor, they will keep doing something on their side of the table. They'll take out things, they'll keep back things, they will take out the pencil, they'll do something. So what happens is, because there's a constant movement going on, the teacher at the other end tends to get disturbed, and also the children around that child tends to get disturbed because that child wants to focus and wants to understand what's happening, and this child on the other hand is unable to focus because this child is unable to regulate or to control the energy levels in him. Now, what also happens because of ADHD is that these children find information processing a big concern. Now, what does that mean? Information processing is when a question is asked to the child and we expect immediate response. Now, this we are talking about a structured environment. Okay, so for example, in a classroom. Now, when a child with ADHD is popped a question, the child takes time to understand and to process what the question is. After they process what the question is, they will go ahead and retrieve the information and then give the answer. By the time they do all this process, the time is over and the answer probably has been given off by another kid. Now this is a concern they face because they find it very difficult to focus. They find it difficult to process information in a jiffy. They need time because we need to give them the instruction at a comparatively lower pace. Another thing that you will see in these children is emotional regulation. So these children, they tend to get frustrated very soon. They tend to get angered very soon. Why so? Because there is somewhere a constant comparison going on that with the child, so either at home or they will tell it out at school that okay, you're not focusing XYZ, you're not focusing XYZ, you're always troubling XYZ, you go out of the class, your work is not finished, and blah 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 blah. And they tend to get very sensitive because they somewhere do understand that they are struggling to focus, they are struggling to finish the work at hand, they are struggling in academics, not because of IQ or not because of anything, it's just that they have this concern and they just don't know what to do. So they tend to get frustrated, and they find it very difficult to regulate that emotion in them. Another thing, and this terminology you would have definitely heard, is executive functioning. Now, this is a big term for which a separate video will be made, and I will post the link very soon. Right now, let's take it in a gist. So, executive functioning is nothing but that part of the brain that helps us in organizing. It helps us in prioritizing. It helps us in planning things. It helps us in remembering details. Now, this part is affected for children with ADHD. So, what happens is when this is affected, they find it very difficult to manage their things. You will see that these children tend to forget their things and come. And you will keep reminding them, get your books, get the diary, get your pencil box, show the notebook to the teacher, show the diary to the teacher. We will say everything at home. But when they go to school, everything is forgotten. There the teacher will also say, okay, XYZ, get your diary. Okay, take out that notebook. Keep your notebook here for checking. The child will listen, but the child will forget, because the working memory is affected here. So what we can do is that we go ahead and we can always tell the child, we can call out the child and we can say, sweetheart, can you just go and get the notebook? Or you can ask that child to collect everybody's diaries, including his or hers, and get it on the table. So in this way, we are not isolating the kid. We are not asking that kid specially to get up and give the notebook. We are giving the child a responsibility, and we are making sure that that child gets his or her notebook or diary on the table. Now, these children also find it difficult to remember details, and hence academics gets affected. Why? Because as we grow higher in the grade, details are important. So this is not because they don't want to, it's because they find it difficult. So for them, we can make lots of visual cues. We can help them with the help of graphic organizers. We can give them mind maps, something that they will find it a little easy to remember. In this case, we can also have peers as buddies who can remind them, you have to do this, finish your work. This will help. Now, what also you will see is that these children who have the hyperactivity, who have ADHD, you will see that their maturity level is also not at par with their similar age group children. So, in this situation, what happens is their their skill of assessing risk gets affected. So even as they grow into teens, they find it difficult to make correct choices, to make correct judgment, and they do tend to get into a difficult situation on and off. These children are also quite impulsive. So when I say impulsive, I mean that they will not think before they act, or they will not be able to pause. So for example, if I have to go ahead and jump from a place, so for a neurotypical kid, they will do the depth analysis. They will see if I can, if I jump from here, how should I jump? Will I get hurt? And should I go a little lower, or should I stand at an angle and jump, and blah blah blah. However, for a child who has ADHD, will not think so much. Why? Because the energy levels are so high and they are not able to focus, and because of the inattention, they end up being impulsive. What happens? They will jump. So these children tend to get injured easily. Because of this impulsive nature, they are not able to hold back themselves. So many times in a social setup, you will see that these children find it very difficult to wait for their turn. Turn taking, to understand that everybody has a turn, and once this finishes, only then I can speak. You will see that in a social setup, they will end up blurting out something. They will blurt out the answer, or they will not think, and they will go ahead and say something or do something, not because they want to, but because they are unable to control the energy level and they don't know how to manage it. Now, having said this, what all techniques are there to help them? Now, there are many people who say medication helps. Now, medication is completely, it depends on the doctor, and it also depends on the severity of the ADHD. Along with medication, or apart, if you don't want to give medication to your kid, what is it that we can do? We can teach them certain tricks and strategies to cope up, right? We can also help them in forming habits to which will facilitate their daily living. Now, for example, if you we have like, for example, to make sure that they have to keep their things inside. Okay, so maybe we can have a visual board, or a card given to them, which will have the things that they have taken today. So for example, the child has taken, as per the timetable, they have these things that they have taken in their school bag, and you have written all the things on small chips. It's laminated, and there's a velcro in it. So once the day is over, the child has to make sure that these all things are there. So you can probably take it from, like, day start, these things are there. When the day ends, you have to just read and pull it out and stick it on the other side, which says that these things are there. This can be done. If you think that this is too much of a work for a child and the child will not be able to do it on own right now, maybe you can have a buddy system in the class, so that the buddy will tell the child, prompt the child, XYZ, you have to keep all these things inside. Or when the class is going to get over, the school is going to get over, towards the end of the period, when there are only 10-15 minutes left, maybe the teacher can ask all the children to close their bags, keep all the things inside, and can take a round in the class and make sure that everything is done. If the last period is a PE, or they're going out, so before they leave for the class, for that PE class, they can probably keep all their things inside, or having a buddy who tells that make sure that your things are inside. And these days, we also have something called essential oils that really help the nervous system in calming down, and they help, and when done consistently, it does show results. We also have pranayam, we also have yoga, we also have meditation. And these children also need to have a lot of physical exercises, or a lot of physical play, because we need to make sure that they get tired. I get parents who tell me that he doesn't sleep or she doesn't sleep. They just don't get tired. So in this case, we also have to make sure that the diet that they follow is also taken into consideration. So we know that that sugar or carbonated drinks do spike up our energy. So make sure that you do not give that, so that the child who already is high on that energy doesn't get a higher dose of energy, because they are finding it difficult to regulate the existing energy they have. Now, how to help these children stay a little planned at home? What we can do is that maybe we can have labels put or stuck at places where the things will be kept. So for example, when they enter the house, the shoes are kept in a certain place and at a certain position. Then you have keys, that you'll keep your keys here. You'll remove your uniform, or you remove your dress. You put it in the laundry basket, or you're keeping it here. You keep your bag in a certain place. And if there is something that we need to plan, or for example, there is something that they need to remember, maybe they have to go for a birthday party or something, so their room, maybe on the wall, we can just stick up a chart, or on a wall hanging, just stick up something and say that to be a birthday party on this day. So what all we need to do, we have to probably get a gift for the person, and if the person wants to get a dress for themselves, we have to buy a dress, or the to-do list for the day, that this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done for the day. And once it's done, we also put a tick mark. Now, these are things that will definitely take time, but then if modeled to the child will be able to do it eventually. Because at the end of the day, we want that the child is able to sustain as independent as possible. Now, having said all these things, this doesn't mean that the executive functional will come at par. No, but this does mean that that we are providing a support system to the child or to the adult, so that they are able to sustain and sail through the life as easily as possible. Hope this video helps. Do share the video and do let me know how you found it in the comments. Thank you.